What up?
And g'day viewers, I'm Michael.
And I'm Janet, and welcome to this week's episode about R&D, Skills for Life.
And we aren't taking R&D as in research and development. In this session, we explore the vital components of regret and discipline.
Jim Rohn sums it up beautifully. We must all suffer from one of two pains, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret.
The difference is discipline weighs ounces, while regret weighs tons.
In this session, we'll share some insights into concepts and give some practical tips on befriending discipline and learning from regret.
So if you're ready to get serious about the R&D that will change your life, then listen up.
What?
And g'day listeners, I'm Michael.
And I'm Janet, and welcome to this week's episode about R&D, Skills for Life.
And we aren't talking R&D as in research and development. In this session, we explore the vital components of regret and discipline. Jim Rohn sums it up beautifully. We must all suffer from one of two pains, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. The difference is discipline weighs ounces while regret weighs tons.
Okay, so think about big achievements. They're not some overnight magic. It's all about sticking to these small daily habits, like little disciplines that you keep up consistently. When you put the important stuff first, give it some love and attention. That's when you're paving the road to greatness. These small disciplines start stacking up in our favour, while little judgment blunders, well, they just add up to a bit of a mess and a lot of regret.
Success and failure, they're not just sudden, dramatic things. Nope, they're the result of a bunch of decisions, small and big, that pile up over time. The choices we make, whether they're good or not so great, that carry some weight and shape how our life turns out. Now, failure isn't like this one-time disaster. It's more like this slow burn from a series of not-so-great thoughts and not-so-great choices that we keep repeating every day. It's basically making the same mistakes over and over again, like a broken record.
You might wonder why anyone would stick to a loop of bad decisions daily. Well, it's because they don't think it matters much. Day-to-day stuff seems kind of trivial, right? Missing out on a small detail, a questionable choice, wasting an hour here or there doesn't feel like a big deal at the time. We often dodge the consequences. Well, at least for a while.
For example, eating too much junk food, well, that sets the stage for future health issues. But hey, the joy of the moment often steals the spotlight from what's coming. Same deal for those hooked on smoking or drinking or drugs. They just keep at it year after year, almost like they're not bothered. The regret and pain from these bad choices, well, that's just hanging out, waiting for its moment. Consequences aren't quick and snappy. They kind of pile up until the day of reckoning arrives, demanding payment for those not-so-smart choices.
What's tricky about failure is how sneaky it is. In the short term, those little errors in judgment don't feel like a big deal. We don't think we're failing. Sometimes these blunders pop up when life is all rainbows and unicorns. No immediate disaster grabs our attention, so we keep rolling along, making the same mistakes, thinking the wrong stuff, listening to the wrong advice, making questionable choices. Since nothing major happened yesterday, we figure it's all good. And unfortunately, failure doesn't shout out warnings like our parents did back in the day. Get off the road, put your seatbelt on, the rest of it. That's why we need to fine-tune our mindset so we can make smarter choices. A solid personal philosophy helps us notice those judgment slip-ups and understand that each one matters.
But hey, every day throws a bunch of choices our way, right? Some big, some small. And get this, each decision we make, no matter how tiny, is like drawing a map to our future. Just like the sum of our past choices got us where we are today, the choices we make now are going to lead us either to future celebrations or future facepalms. Now, here's a simple success recipe. A sprinkle of easy disciplines stirred in every day. But here's the kicker. How do we swap the failure formula blunders for the success secret sauce? Well, it's like making the future your best friend right now.
Both success and failure are all about what's coming our way in the future, the sweet rewards or the not-so-sweet regrets from our past actions. So here's the plot twist. Why don't more people think about tomorrow? The answer's kind of basic. They're so deep in today's dramas that tomorrow feels like a distant cousin. Today's issues and perks grab some people so tight they even forget there is a tomorrow.
Imagine this though. What if we made a habit of taking a few minutes each day to have a peek down the road of the future. Suddenly we see the consequences of today's errors in judgment. And with that insider knowledge, we could swap our missteps for some new success-focused disciplines. Basically, by peeking into the future every day, we tweak our thoughts, fix our blunders, and pick up shiny new habits to replace the old rusty ones.
Let's get back to those easy daily disciplines. What's cool about the success formula is that you'll start seeing results fast. When you change up your diet and your health perks up in just a few weeks, you hit the gym and you're buzzing with newfound energy almost right away. You dive into some reading and bam, you're leveling up your awareness and increasing your self-confidence. Any new habit you start throwing into your daily routine brings results that make you hungry for some more disciplines.
So let's break this down in a more laid-back way. So picture this. All our little habits and disciplines, they're like a big family. And when a new one rolls in town, it just doesn't high-five the old ones. It actually shakes up the whole crew. Now, I'm talking about how everything that we do affects everything else. Sure, some things have a bigger impact, but nothing we do is just floating in its own bubble. Not realising this is like living in La La Land. And here's where those sneaky little mistakes can creep in. From not realising how our slip-ups are playing the long game in our lives.
We've all been there, right? We give ourselves a pass on one undisciplined move, telling ourselves, this is my weak spot. But hold up, that's where the delusion kicks in, because that undisciplined move is like opening the floodgates, setting off a chain reaction of self-disciplined breakdowns. Giving ourselves the green light, even for a quick detour outside the self-control zone, sets a sneaky trend in motion, and over time, it erodes our other good habits.
Since every discipline is throwing a party and affecting other disciplines, we've got to be on our A game with all of them. No free pass for errors day in and day out. Seriously, every little indulgence in a mistake is like a ripple effect, messing with all our other good habits. And guess what? It's actually shaping our future and our future performance.
But here's the silver lining. Flip the script and introduce a new discipline. When you do that, it's like bringing a superhero to the party. The new habit, it's not just doing its own thing, it's spreading good vibes to the rest of the gang. So the trick is to keep our eye out for any small discipline that can level up our game. Hunt down those little errors in judgment that could use a makeover into a fresh discipline.
And once you kickstart that discipline cycle, those errors start feeling the heat. They pack their bags and they bolt, leaving behind some sweet rewards. It's like turning the tide and watching dominoes fall in your favour. So keep your eyes peeled for those tiny habits that can spark a revolution in your thinking. Fix up those blunders and dial up your results. It's all about the little things adding up to some big wins.
Now let's talk about those who seem to enjoy chatting about success more than actually chasing it. It's like their constant talk of someday puts them in a cosy trance and all the stuff they could or should be doing just gathers dust. But here's the kicker. The consequences of the self-delusion come knocking. Sooner or later, they'll look back and wish they'd tackled all those things they left on the to-do list. That's why we've got to kick ourselves into gear now and then to feel the manageable sting of discipline.
We all face one kind of pain, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. The catch? Well, as Jim Rohn said and we said earlier, the difference is discipline weighs ounces while regret weighs tons. So long story short, success isn't some big secret. It's about nailing those small disciplines every day.
And failure? Well, it's more of a subtle build-up, a result of repeating those not so awesome choices, which we end up regretting. So it's time to wise up and steer our ship in the right direction. Until next time, love and blessings.
See ya.